In this mini-course, we will discuss management feedback that works to motivate, correct, inspire, and improve performance. Introduction: the power of feedback. Feedback isn't just an HR formality, it's a powerful management tool. Done well, feedback drives performance, boosts motivation, and promotes individual and team growth. Despite its importance, many managers hesitate or struggle with feedback delivery. They fear damaging relationships or being misunderstood. But when used strategically, feedback builds alignment, strengthens engagement, and fosters trust. It connects individual behavior directly to broader organizational goals, helping employees see how their actions matter. It also develops talent by highlighting both strengths and improvement areas. When feedback is delivered consistently and constructively, it creates clarity and reduces ambiguity in roles and expectations. Most importantly, it helps people feel seen, valued, and guided. Feedback shouldn't be a moment of dread. It should be an ongoing opportunity for learning and excellence. Mastering it as a skill is essential for leaders who want to support performance while building deeper trust and connection with their teams. Overview of this course. This course will teach how to deliver feedback that actually works. Feedback that doesn't just criticize but motivates, corrects, and inspires. You'll explore why feedback is essential in any organization, especially in fast-moving, knowledge-driven fields like engineering and science. We'll cover the 3 key purposes of effective feedback: to motivate people by reinforcing what's working, to correct behaviors that derail progress, and to inspire growth and innovation. You'll be introduced to practical frameworks and models, such as SBI and BEAR, which simplify how to give focused, respectful, and results-oriented feedback. We'll also unpack common pitfalls, like vague feedback or emotional overreaction, and how to avoid them. Finally, we'll focus on building a feedback-driven culture, where trust and regular communication are the norm, not the exception. Whether you're an emerging team lead or a technical expert stepping into a leadership role, these skills will elevate your impact and foster stronger, more resilient teams. The purpose of performance feedback. Performance feedback exists to do more than evaluate work. It's a tool to align, develop, and engage. First, feedback aligns individual behavior with broader organizational goals. This ensures that each person understands how their actions contribute to the company's mission. Second, it develops talent. Great feedback helps people grow by reinforcing strengths and identifying areas to build new skills. In scientific and technical roles, where precision and progress matter, this kind of growth-oriented insight is vital. Third, feedback enhances engagement. Employees who receive clear, constructive input are more likely to be invested in their work. Feedback fulfills 3 essential functions: to motivate by celebrating success and energizing high performers, to correct by addressing unproductive behavior early before it becomes a pattern, and to inspire by challenging people to grow beyond their current limits. When done well, feedback builds clarity, confidence, and connection, forming a bridge between leadership and team performance. Purpose-driven feedback. Feedback that delivers results always serves one of 3 strategic purposes: to motivate, to correct, or to inspire. Motivating feedback reinforces success by acknowledging what's working. When employees hear that specific behaviors are driving positive outcomes, they're more likely to repeat them. Corrective feedback is just as important. It redirects behavior that may be off course or ineffective, ideally before it becomes a habit. Addressing issues early demonstrates commitment to both performance and the individual's success. Lastly, inspirational feedback focuses on unlocking potential. It's forward-looking, encouraging people to reach higher, develop new skills, and take on new challenges. Think of it as the bridge between where someone is today and where they could be tomorrow. Purpose-driven feedback about performance lead to clarity, improvement, and growth. Feedback that motivates. Why recognition matters. Motivational feedback does more than make someone feel good. It drives performance. When employees are recognized for specific contributions, they're more likely to feel engaged and stay committed to their role. According to Gallup, employees who feel recognized are 4 times more likely to be engaged, 5 times more likely to stay with their company, and 73% less likely to experience burnout. Recognition signals that their work has value and purpose. In technical teams, this could mean acknowledging a creative solution to a design challenge or highlighting consistent accuracy in data analysis. Motivation through feedback increases commitment and energizes individuals to take initiative. It's not about generic praise like "good job," but specific recognition tied to what truly matters. When you give motivational feedback, you strengthen the connection between effort and outcome, helping people stay aligned with the organization's vision while maintaining high morale and energy across your team. Characteristics of effective motivational feedback. Motivational feedback only works when it's delivered effectively. There are 4 key characteristics to keep in mind. First, it should be timely. Feedback has the most impact when it's given close to the event. Waiting too long can dull its relevance. Second, be specific. Vague praise like "great work" doesn't guide future behavior. Instead, name the behavior. What exactly did they do well? Third, be authentic. Speak in your own voice and avoid corporate cliches. Sincerity matters more than polish. Lastly, make the feedback meaningful. Tie recognition to company values, team goals, or the impact their work had. For example, "Your analysis helped us avoid a costly design error," is more powerful than just saying thanks. These traits make feedback stick. When it feels real, relevant, and timely, people not only hear the message, they internalize it. And that's what leads to lasting motivation and high-impact performance. Best practices for motivational feedback. One proven approach to delivering motivational feedback is the SBI model: situation, behavior, impact. Start by describing the situation. For example, a team meeting or a client interaction. Next, name the specific behavior you observed. What exactly did the person do? Finally, explain the impact their behavior had on the team, the project, or the outcome. This method ensures feedback is clear and actionable. Beyond using the SBI model, there are 2 other best practices to consider. First, encourage peer recognition. Recognition shouldn't just come from managers. Team members can build each other up too. Second, make praise visible when appropriate. Public recognition can boost morale and reinforce a positive culture. However, always match the delivery to the individual's comfort level. These practices reinforce a culture where feedback is not only appreciated but also expected, creating a team dynamic built on mutual support and shared excellence. Example of the SBI model. Here's how the SBI model works in action. Start with the situation. In yesterday's team meeting, this sets the context for the feedback. Then describe the behavior. You volunteered to handle the client demo on short notice. This is the observable action you want to reinforce. Finally, explain the impact, which kept us on track and showed great initiative. This shows the value their action brought to the team or project. This simple structure keeps feedback focused, constructive, and easy to deliver, even in fast-paced environments. Especially in technical roles, where specifics matter, this model ensures you recognize not just effort, but effective behaviors. The more clear and consistent your recognition, the more likely team members will repeat those actions. The SBI model is a practical, respectful, and motivating tool that turns everyday moments into opportunities to strengthen performance and engagement. Feedback that corrects, why managers avoid it. Corrective feedback is one of the hardest but most necessary forms of communication in leadership. Many managers avoid it because they fear damaging relationships, lowering morale, or triggering defensiveness. However, the cost of avoidance is far greater. When issues are not addressed early, mistakes repeat, and team frustration builds. Team members may feel unfairly burdened or confused by a lack of expectations. Over time, problems escalate, making them harder to fix. Leaders often delay difficult conversations out of discomfort, but postponement allows minor issues to become major ones. Instead of protecting morale, silence leads to lost clarity and reduced accountability. Managers need to understand that respectful correction is not about confrontation, it's about care. By addressing performance issues early, you actually show that you believe in the individual's potential and want them to succeed. Feedback isn't a threat, it's an investment in future performance and stronger, more trustworthy teams. Key principles for effective correction. Corrective feedback, when delivered well, can build trust, not damage it. Start by offering critique privately. Never correct someone in front of others, as public embarrassment shuts down receptivity. Focus on being constructive, not critical. That means addressing behaviors, not personalities. For example, "You interrupted during the meeting" is better than "You're always rude." Next, maintain a balanced tone. Be direct and honest, but stay respectful. Some managers use the feedback sandwich method, but if it feels forced, skip it. Authenticity matters more than format. Finally, make the conversation future-oriented. Rather than dwelling on what went wrong, shift to how things can improve moving forward. What change would lead to a better outcome? This kind of feedback is about growth, not blame. These principles help create an environment where people feel safe to receive guidance and motivated to act on it. That's how correction becomes a tool for development. BEAR model, a framework for correction. The BEAR model offers a structured, non-confrontational approach to giving corrective feedback. It consists of 4 steps: behavior, effect, alternative, and result. Start with the behavior. Objectively describe what happened, without judgment. For example, when you missed the data deadline. Next, explain the effect. What was the consequence? The team had to delay its reporting cycle. Then, suggest an alternative. Offer a better way to handle the situation. In the future, please give early notice if there's a blocker. Finally, clarify the result you're aiming for, so we can maintain our timelines. This model transforms feedback from criticism into collaboration. It focuses on problem solving and future improvement rather than fault or blame. For technical teams that rely on precision and timing, BEAR helps maintain accountability while preserving psychological safety. The result is improved performance, stronger relationships, and a culture where feedback supports excellence, not fear. Common pitfalls to avoid. Even with good intentions, feedback can go wrong. Avoiding common pitfalls can preserve trust and increase the effectiveness of your message. One major mistake is using generalizations. Phrases like, "you always," or "you never." These feel like attacks and rarely reflect the full picture. Instead, stick to specific incidents. Another trap is overloading the recipient with multiple issues at once. This can overwhelm and confuse, reducing the impact of your feedback. Prioritize the most important behavior you want to address. Delayed feedback is another problem. Waiting weeks to address a concern dilutes its relevance and creates confusion. Timeliness builds clarity and responsiveness. Lastly, avoid delivering feedback when you're frustrated or angry. Emotion-driven feedback often escalates conflict instead of resolving it. Take time to cool down and prepare your message thoughtfully. Being mindful of these pitfalls will help you deliver feedback that is respectful, effective, and genuinely developmental. Feedback that inspires, going beyond correction. Inspirational feedback isn't just about fixing problems. It's about helping people grow into their best selves. When you inspire with feedback, you create a sense of possibility and purpose. Employees begin to see themselves as capable of more. This shift unlocks innovation, ownership, and intrinsic motivation. People move from doing what's expected to exceeding expectations. Instead of performance being good enough, it becomes exceptional. Inspirational feedback sparks ambition. It helps team members connect their current efforts to long-term development goals. In technical environments, this may mean encouraging someone to take on a new design challenge or pursue cross-functional learning. Correction is reactive. Inspiration is forward-looking. It transforms feedback into a tool for future growth. When leaders move from problem-solving to potential unlocking, they build teams that are not just competent, but committed to ongoing improvement and innovation. Characteristics of inspirational feedback. Inspirational feedback helps people see a bigger picture and believe in their future. 3 qualities define this kind of feedback. First, it is vision-driven. It connects the individual's work to the broader mission or purpose of the team or organization. For example, showing how someone's analysis contributes to a company-wide initiative. Second, it is challenge-oriented. It pushes people slightly beyond their comfort zone, enough to stretch, but not to break. This might mean suggesting a team member present their ideas to leadership or take on a mentoring role. Third, it is developmental. It highlights opportunities for future growth, such as stretch goals, upcoming roles, or skill-building projects. By framing feedback in terms of aspiration and evolution, leaders spark motivation that goes beyond the next task. Inspirational feedback makes people feel not just useful, but valuable and capable of more. That's how performance becomes transformation. How to inspire with feedback. To inspire someone with feedback, help them see their future potential. Begin by asking growth-oriented questions like, where do you want to grow next? Or, what skills do you want to master this quarter? These questions show that you care about their long-term development, not just their output. Next, paint a picture of potential. For example, the way you've been handling technical issues shows leadership maturity. Have you considered mentoring new hires? This helps connect current strengths to new opportunities. Then, show clear pathways. Help team members see how their present efforts align with future roles. And don't forget to recognize potential, not just current performance. Sometimes, the belief you express in someone becomes the spark they need to believe in themselves. Inspirational feedback is about planting seeds of confidence, ambition, and ownership. When done authentically, it transforms good performers into future leaders. Creating a feedback culture. A feedback culture doesn't happen by accident. It's built on 3 pillars: trust, frequency, and consistency. First, trust is the foundation. Without it, feedback feels risky or threatening. Trust grows when leaders model honesty, openness, and care. Second, frequency matters. Feedback should be a regular, ongoing practice, not something saved for annual reviews. In fast-paced work environments, waiting months to give feedback is a missed opportunity. Third, consistency builds reliability. When feedback is part of the routine, everyone knows it's safe and expected. A strong feedback culture turns performance conversations into daily opportunities for learning and improvement. It encourages 2-way dialogue, not 1-way evaluation. Leaders who create this kind of environment develop teams that are more agile, more resilient, and more committed. Feedback stops being extra and becomes a natural part of how people collaborate, grow, and succeed together. Embedding feedback in daily routines. Feedback becomes powerful when it's part of the rhythm of work, not a special event. Begin by starting team meetings with quick recognitions. Highlight recent wins or key contributions. This sets a positive tone and normalizes public appreciation. Next, hold monthly one-on-one meetings that include space for 2-way feedback. These sessions deepen trust and provide regular check-ins for growth. Use project postmortems to reflect on what worked and what could improve. This encourages learning from both success and setbacks. Finally, create feedback checkpoints during long-term projects. These are natural pauses where you can realign goals and expectations. By embedding feedback into existing workflows, it becomes a consistent part of the process, not a separate burden. This approach builds a team culture where feedback is expected, welcomed, and used to continuously elevate performance and innovation. Encouraging upward and peer feedback. Great feedback doesn't just flow top-down, it moves in all directions. Encouraging upward and peer feedback helps create a full-circle culture of accountability and growth. When managers ask questions like, "What's one thing I can do better?" they model vulnerability and openness. This breaks down hierarchy and shows that everyone, even leaders, can improve. Peer feedback also plays a crucial role. It builds shared responsibility, strengthens relationships, and encourages collaboration. People feel more invested in team success when they know they can both give and receive constructive input. The benefits of this approach are powerful. It breaks down silos, enhances leadership awareness, and improves psychological safety. When everyone feels heard and supported, engagement and performance rise. Normalize feedback at all levels, and you'll create a team where continuous improvement is everyone's responsibility and everyone's opportunity. Conclusion: feedback as a performance advantage. Feedback is more than a performance tool. It's a competitive advantage. When used wisely, feedback can transform individual behavior and elevate team outcomes. Managers who know how to motivate through recognition, correct with respect, and inspire through vision build stronger, more resilient teams. Feedback isn't just about fixing problems. It's about unlocking potential and guiding growth. In today's knowledge-driven economy, talent is your most valuable asset, and feedback is one of the most underutilized tools for developing it. To lead effectively, use feedback often, not just during reviews. Use it to build clarity, engagement, and trust. And most of all, use it to help people become the best version of themselves. When feedback becomes part of your leadership DNA, you don't just manage performance, you multiply it. Use feedback to build better results, stronger people, and teams that thrive.